So for module 6, we were asked to make this drawing. So my name is Perla. I'm going to start out with mom. I'm a mom of two kids, a 3-year-old and a 7-year-old. I'm Hispanic. I could say Latino as well. I speak Spanish and English. I come from immigrant parents. I came here when I was 7 years old, and then I'm a sister. I have a brother, an older brother, and an older sister, and I'm Catholic. So the two things I will speak about are being um, Hispanic. So being Latino, especially in Worthington, where we have a lot of families who are Latino. I think in a school environment, especially here in Perry Elementary or the middle school, intermediate, high school, it benefits a lot because I can relate to a lot of these kids. I relate to the family dynamic, the working environment, our heritage, everything we have. I relate to these kids. Like when I was younger in Halloween time, my parents didn't really believe in Halloween because we're Catholic, but because we moved here to the U.S., we started doing a lot of that Halloween stuff, going out for candy, dressing up, and I see it in a lot of our kids. I work with kindergarten. I see it that some other parents don't allow them to do that, and I try to relate to them. I talk to them. When I was younger, when I first moved here in second grade, I begged my mom to let me dress up for Halloween. And it took a lot of begging, but with time she allowed me to do it. And with time she understood that it wasn't an evil thing. It wasn't us like worshiping the devil. It just was a fun thing for kids to do. And with that, I think I've grew as a kid. I grew as a person. I think I understood that I needed to have my voice. It helped me understand my parents better. And with this in mind, I understand these kids. Like, I understand where they come from. The other thing I also. Oh, and with being Hispanic, I also speak Spanish, so I can speak to these kids in my language. I think a lot of these kids don't know much English, so I can communicate better. In my school, I help other teachers with their Spanish speakers, with direction, with helping them out with issues. I think Spanish in this community is very important. And when I was a kid, um, there was a lot of Spanish speakers, but there wasn't as many as now. So I had to maneuver my way around English, and it was really nice to have teachers or friends who spoke Spanish who made it easier for me to have a good time at school and to make my education fun and learnable. The other situation I want to talk about is immigrant parents. So I came here when I was 7 years old. When we were in Mexico, my mom was a stay-at-home mom, and my dad went out and worked. So coming here to having both of my parents work was very tough on me. I remember like feeling lonely, and in that way, I would act out towards my parents and sometimes at school because I was looking for that connection with somebody, that time with somebody. I was missing my mom and my dad. So it was a big change for me, and I see it in a lot of our kids. A lot of the kids we have, like both other parents work, like a lot of them are looking for that one-on-one time. It could come off as like negative. They're looking for attention. It could come back as like positive attention that they're looking for, or even negative attention. Like not having both of your parents, or especially one parent at home with you, can be very hard for these kids, and especially I work with kindergarten, like I said, so especially at those age where they're wanting to make connections and they're learning, and they're learning that they want the attention. They're learning that that's what makes them feel safe. Like their parents are their safe home, and sometimes they don't have like safe homes, so they come to school looking for that. And in that way, I understand them. I understand where they're coming from. I understand their issues, and I'm very empathetic towards them, as well as having parents who don't speak English or Spanish. Like my parents now know a little bit of English, but I had to grow up interpreting for them, and that also has helped me grow up. And I see that a lot in our kids in our district. Like the kids are the ones who have to interpret for them, have to go to doctor's appointments for with their parents, have to do all this stuff that they shouldn't do. I'm not saying they shouldn't, but sometimes it's hard to translate as like an 8-year-old or a 10-year-old. So I think this also helped me grow up and mature and understand that my parents need help, and I see it in the kids we have now. Some of them have matured too fast. They know that their parents need them, and it's also hard to have that in mind, that your parents will always need you. You always have to take care of them. Even now that I am 25, I have to call and make appointments for my parents. I have to figure things out for them, translate papers for them. And I just know that I will always have to do that for them. And I know these kids know that as well. And I have to relate to them. And I'm able to be that listening person for them, that understanding person. I won't judge them for that, because I know that they need somebody there for them.